Hi, here's Patsy. I popped on this morning to do the a VR Tarot Yogi. She's doing a hashtag at the minute. What are your clairs? I can't remember all the names of the clairs. I'll get confused with them, and if I try to use them, I'll probably end up confusing you all too. So I probably won't be using their real name because, like I said, I'm not very good at remembering which ones are which and what they're all called, etc. And I'll end up saying the wrong ones and getting them all mixed up or something. So my journey with the Clares started a few years ago when I joined Spirit Circle, and I've been doing circles. I've done them for about 2 or 3 years, I think. I don't do them anymore because it's very hard to find a good one in an area where we're very rural and there's not an awful lot of spiritual stuff going on in my town. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of churches, but nothing what I'm interested in, sort of thing. So it's very hard to find a circle. And I also have done workshops, daily workshops with mediums and weekend workshops, etc. And I've done that for the last few years. Again, I haven't really done one for the last year because when there have been them on, I've not been around to be able to take part in them. So this is something that I sort of flit in and out of when I can. I think I probably use all of the Clairs. I can't think of any that I don't particularly use. The one that is probably the least one that I'm very strong in is the smelling. I don't get smells that often. I can get the odd one if somebody around me smoked. I can sometimes smell the smoke, or sometimes smell perfume, sometimes I smell flowers, but it's very rare. I don't very often get the smells. I think I can count it on one hand the amount of time that Claire has came in. So that is one that is probably my least used Claire. The clear knowing, you know, that feeling of just knowing something comes in my head and I don't know why, because I know it's not my own thoughts, but it's, you know, that is my strongest, I would have thought. That is something that I've always had. I can't remember a time that I haven't. And that is probably my strongest today as well. So that is my strongest. But I do use the others too. To give you a couple of examples, nearly 3 years ago I lost my dad. He was in hospital and his family was all around him, etc. And he was coming near to the end, and I gave him a kiss and said, "I'll see you later, Dad. When you get there, pop back and let me know you're okay." A couple of weeks later, I was in bed. Now when I feel spirit, I get like a cold rush of air hit me on the side. It's usually the right side that it comes at me. And I was in bed, and you know when you're half and half asleep and something happens and you just sort of like shrug it off and sort of I had this cold breeze hit me, and I was just like, oh, and sort of snuggled down further into my bed, and just sort of dropping back off again, and I heard my voice being shouted. So I thought, okay, that sounds like Dad. So I sat up and turned around, and there in the corner stood my dad. Now he was as clear as anything, but he wasn't a solid person. He was, if I'd have put my hand there, I'd have gone straight through him. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't solid, but he looked solid. And he looked and he just said, "I'm okay, sweetheart, I'm okay." So I thanked him for coming and letting me know that he was okay. And then he disappeared. I got up, went to the toilet, got back in bed and went back to sleep. Another time, my brother had passed. He was a long time ago. He was 25 when he died. He would have been 52, 53 nearly if he was still here. So he's been gone longer than he was actually here. And I've had numerous messages just come in from him in different ways. I've never actually seen him. He usually comes to me through sound, and just that knowing that he's there. My dad is like the clearest one that I've seen. But my brother, I did see him once, and he had his back to me. And I remember saying, "Hey, what you got your back to me for?" And he just ignored me. And I was like, that ain't very nice, you know, what you got your back to me for? And he turned around and looked at me and then turned back round. And I remember saying, "What are you waiting for? What's the matter?" And I didn't get no reply. He just looked at me again with his sad eyes and turned his back. And that got me thinking, but not for too long. I thought, okay, you know. The next day, that's when my dad got took into hospital. And within a few days, 4 days, he did pass. So I know my brother had come to take Dad, and that's what he was waiting for. And when we was at the hospital, some of the last things that Dad said was, "My boy's here. He's been waiting for me, but I'm not ready to go. I don't want to go." So that's the only time I've actually seen my brother. And that was because he was just letting us know that he was there at this time for us, and that he had come to take Dad. So other things that I've experienced, on my birthday, my dad come to me as clear as anything, and it was my 50th birthday just after we lost Dad, and I'd got caught up in the breeze had hit me, but then it was like it was really strange feeling. It was like I was being lifted, and he gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, "Happy birthday, sweetheart." So that was another time Dad come to me. Then later on the same day, my daughter was here, and this is one for the sound sort of thing. My daughter was here, and we was in the living room, and she'd come round to wish me happy birthday and everything. And all of a sudden, my dad's song, what was played at his funeral, come blaring out, and I was like, "Where's that coming from?" And my daughter heard it too, and she was like, "From the kitchen." So we went into the kitchen, and the TV was on in the kitchen, but Touched by an Angel was on the telly. No sound anywhere else coming from anywhere else. And then it stopped. So I know that was another way that he let me know that he was there. So that this is where my clairs come in. They do these kind of things, and I've had numerous things like these going on. I hear things, I see things, but it's the clear knowing that is my strongest. It's just a sense of knowing, and I'm a healer too. I do healing, and when I do the healing on people, I very on take on, so I have to make sure I'm well protected in that, but it'll only last a second. But I will take on, if they've got a bad knee, my knee will suddenly go, or if they're emotional, then I'll become emotional. So I pick up on people's energy, and that's something that I've always done too. So yeah, so that's my journey with my clairs, and my weakest is, like I say, is the smell. My strongest, I would say, is just the knowing. But I do think that all my clairs interact with me one way or another, some stronger than others. But I would like to build on them, and I do believe, if you haven't guessed already, that we do have spirit all around us, and I do connect with a lot of them, but I would love to go deeper with that too. So I thought I'd come on and share my experience of the clairs. It may be interested to you or not, but that is my story. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.